All right, Wizkids, you have rained upon us the wonderment of another Deadpool set. We're really excited to dig in and take a good look at the dials. So I'm going to flip the camera over to the map, and we're going to look at figure by figure of what we got in our break, courtesy of Wizkids Games, and the Deadpool and the X-Force set. Oh, I'm so excited to look through these dials now. And away we go, the Deadpool set. And we're going to start high. Figure number 001B, the Dreadpool. Oh, I got to get myself a little better under the camera here. Now I got to get better focus on this. All right. So Dreadpool, the figure, the common prime. Ooh, interesting thing with the hand. Sorry, I'm getting all caught up in the figure. He has Agency X, Deadpool Core, Weapon X, X-Force, Assassin, Martial Artist, and Soldier keywords. He's the Wade Wilson of Earth 12101. Deadpool Illustrated is his trait. Dreadpool can use Steal Energy. At the beginning of your turn, choose a name keyword an opposing character possesses. At the end of your turn, give Dreadpool a free action to make a close or range attack targeting a single opposing character with the chosen keyword if he has not attacked any character with the chosen keyword this turn. And then he's got a bit of a wacky dial there. At 130 points, Indomitable, 8 range, 2 targets. Cool figure. Competitive possibilities are shaky at best right now, given the current environment. Could see a little better in the future. The inconsistency of his dial is what causes a lot of questions. And, you know, who knows? We'll see. I've been wrong before, but I don't think this guy's going to see much competitive play, but he's going to rock the kitchen table, man. Let me tell you. So, next up we have Wolverine with the X-Force, X-Men, and Martial Artist keywords. Comes in at 70 points. He's got a defense power, automatic regeneration. Wolverine can use regeneration as a free action. Give Wolverine a free action and roll d6. One time this turn, he can use that result instead of rolling for Blades, Claws, Fangs, or Regeneration. That's a neat little power that he's got on his last 3 clicks in place of Regeneration. Now, you'll note his significant appearance is legendary Heroclix promo figure number 2002. This is kind of a reworking, modernization of the original figure that kind of saw its way into the original promotions when Wizkids was first showing off Heroclix when their only game was Mage Knight. A very interesting little dial. 9 clicks on a 70-point character is pretty deep dial. But man, does his defense really look like an old school figure. Whoo-wee! Last clicks to 16, 15 defense. He's probably going to be dead pretty close to here. But hey, forcing your opponent to put that much work into a 70-point character could be worth it. Probably going to see a little bit more sealed action than he'll see of competitive play. All right, next up, figure 003, the Foolkiller. He's got the Heroes for Hire trait. He's got the Mercs for Money trait as well. Sorry, Heroes for Hire keyword, Mercs for Money trait. Ugh. Each time another friendly character with the Heroes for Hire keyword KOs an opposing character, heal Foolkiller 1 click. Then he's got a Killer of Fools. Modify Foolkiller's attack value by +2 when attacking an opposing character that missed an attack since your last turn. Well, it's gonna be hard pressed to keep track of. But let's get a good look at this dial. 75 points, full dial Psychic Blast. Starts with 10 attack. Drops really quick though in that value. But then he does have some Perplex for the mid dial. 5 damage. Not gonna see competitive play at all, but very likely to see some kitchen table action with that Mercs for Money trait. All right. Next up, it's a wacky game. It's Madcap even. Madcap has a Deadpool Core, Heroes for Hire, and Wild Pack keywords. He comes in 100 points. I'm the Deadpool brand Mercenary you hired is his trait. Once per action for all characters with this trait, when another friendly character with a Deadpool Core keyword would be KO'd, you may instead turn that character to his last KO click, then heal it 3 clicks. If you do, KO 1 friendly character with this trait. Boop is his next one. Adjacent friend opposing characters can't make attacks unless they attack a character named Madcap. So he kind of forces attacks on you, which could definitely lead to a more close combat focused team if you choose to use him that way. Instant healing. When Madcap takes damage, after actions resolve, roll a d6, heal Madcap of half the result. That's got to be the most obnoxious thing ever when you're dealing with this guy. And he's already got some top dial toughness. Ooh, it's a very dangerous 5 clicks for 100 points. Poison on everything but his first click. Perplex on the mid dial. Oh man, I want to like this guy a lot more, but 100 points on a 5-click dial is very dangerous play. Although, of course, he's got that healing thing, so who knows what could happen. Honestly, there's a big question mark on this one. Probably not going to see. Oh, this is 004B, by the way. This is the... And then Foolkiller was 003A. Oh, geez, this is going to be a little crazy. I want to see what the A looks like on this guy. I think it's actually another Madcap, to be honest. But honestly, this dial, this point value, I am super tentative about. All right, so next up, figure 005, Massacre. Massacre? He's got Deadpool core heroes for hire. Mercs for money, so he can heal a click if somebody with the heroes for hire keyword KOs a character. He's also got Charge Flurry as a special movement power as I throw the card all over the place on his first 3 clicks for 50 points. Does he start with support? He does. 50 points. His keywords don't make him really good on a theme team, but if you got a swarm team and you need some extra functionality out of it, big question mark. There's going to be a lot of question marks, I think, in this set. More likely to see kitchen table action than not kitchen table action, but it remains to be seen. Oh, man. Oh, this set's going to cause me to have so many questions. All right, next up, figure 006, the Mercenary. Whoever pays the bills when Mercenary would be KO'd by an attack. That attacker's controller rolls a d6. On a result of 4 to 6, Mercenary is instead added to that character's force. On click number 3, that player scores 35 victory points. Kitchen table, if you're lucky. Sorry, I went completely silent on that one because I don't even know what to say about that. All right, next up, we have the generic ninja that looks an awful lot like Psylocke. Yeah, you do. All right, she got special movement power. Oh, sorry, Hydra, the hand, and martial artist. So, multifunctional generic character for those theme teams. Strike from the shadows is her special movement power. She can use stealth. When ninja occupies any terrain, modify her range and damage values by 1. By +1, rather. Yeah, I think this will shock people at the kitchen table or at the occasional fun lower end tournament. Not going to see a whole lot of competitive play, but man, for 15 points, this is a fun figure. Let me tell you. I tell you what. All right, next up, we have the Rogue Scientist. Scientist keyword. I'd hope so. Will design doomsday weapons for food is his special damage power. Rogue Scientist can use Outwit. Adjacent characters of equal or higher value may be given a power action to use Outwit until your next turn. And he's got Sidestep. He's got 3 clicks, 35 points. Sealed. Kitchen table. That's about it. All right, next up. Chipmunk Hunk. He's got the animal keyword. And defeater of punks and other junk. Chipmunk Hunk can use leap, climb, and stealth. When he uses leap, climb after action resolve, he can use quake as a action. And he's got perplex on his last 2 clicks for 20 points. Look, for 20 points, the ability to move 8, I don't care what his attack value is, move 8 and quake? This guy's got to play somewhere. And I think this animal keyword is going to make itself suddenly strong again. I don't know. Alyosha made it really, really OP strong. It's probably not going to be OP on that level. But can you imagine just getting quaked by a bunch of chipmunk hunks? Oof. Okay. This one made Amber make squealing noises. This is Tippy Toe. That's right. That is a squirrel wearing a bow. With the Great Lakes Avengers and animal keywords, it's got special attack power. Squirrel Talk. Give Tippy a free action to deal 1 damage to an opposing character within 8 squares and line of fire that occupies printed hindering terrain. Free action, deal 1 damage to an opposing character. I don't see a dice roll required in that. And she starts with that. 25 points, tiny. I mean, without that power, she's not doing much, and she loses that power after the first click, but she does have exploit weakness on click 2 and 3. Oh, isn't that adorable? She's from Squirrel Girl. Of course she is. Man, the potential on this is huge, but I don't want to overcommit. So I'm going to put a question mark. Like, there's a team or two that are going to use her, and they're going to be obnoxious. Other than that, though, it'll be like 1 or 2 teams in the meta play, but tons of fun on the kitchen table. All right, next up, Figure 011, or Figure 11, Asp. She's got the Femizons and Serpent Society keywords. The BAD Girls Incorporated. Asp can use plasticity. When she successfully breaks away during a non-free action, after actions resolve, heal her 1 click and deal 1 damage to each character she broke away from. That's pretty interesting considering that comes with plasticity and part of the trait. So because plasticity increases your ability to break away by +2. She's got 5 range. She's also got bioelectric venom. Asp can use incapacitate. When she does, after actions resolve, deal 1 damage to the hit target and each opposing character adjacent to. My goodness, what is going on with this? And she's got sidestep across the board, so she can use sidestep to break away, deal 1 damage, heal her 1 click, and deal 1 damage to each of the characters that she just broke away from with her +2 with plasticity from the trait. Then during the same turn, because that last thing was a free action, she can make incapacitate attack and deal 1 damage to the hit target and each opposing character adjacent to it. There's a lot of slow plugging of damage in this set. Though her keywords aren't team-worthy, there's something to be said for this figure, much like Tippy Toe. I'm not giving up on her just yet. I'm going to make her work in this case. All right, next up, we have Grizzly, the 6-pack brute soldier. He's got a special attack power, brute, strength, and firearms. Grizzly can use super strength. When making an object attack, damage dealt is penetrating. Wow, this is a 40-point character with sidestep, so he's not charging necessarily. He's not a giant either, so he's not getting giant reach. But man, there's somebody whose name rhymes with Shmeem Shrey who could TK him. He could sidestep forward, deal 5 damage that's penetrating, and he won't die from it. Thunderbird, looking at you. All right, yeah. Probably not meta to play, but he can definitely make some shocking actions, that's for sure. All right, our first look at the ecstatics here. You Go Girl. She's got the headlines. You Go Girl hits, when You Go Girl hits with 1 or more action tokens after action resolve, give her a headline token. I like this little card that you can use to kind of mark where your headline tokens are going. And there's always there's a Heroclix reference on one side, and of course the ecstatic reference on the front. Very cool looking thing. Little extra bits always go a long way, right? She's X-Force, Ecstatics, and Celebrity for her keyword, which should be most of the ecstatics when it comes down to it. I'm more than just a mutant bus is her trait. When You Go Girl has no action tokens, she can use carry to carry up to 4 friendly characters that share a named keyword with her, ignoring their speed symbols. Remove a headline token from You Go Girl's card and give her a move action as a free action. There's a lot of potential in that. For 4 clicks is a taxi. Not bad. But how does she get headline tokens again? When she hits 1 or more opposing characters. I don't see that happening too frequently, considering she's doing most of the taxi actioning. But she does have Quake, which, you know, once you're in there, doesn't make her completely useless. Ecstatics teams have to get looked at, but at first glance, not super great. Kitchen table figure for sure. But let's, you know, when we get a closer look at Ecstatics, that might change my tune later on. All right, next up, Cable. You've got New Mutant, Six-Pack, X-Force, X-Men, Armor, Future, and Soldier keywords. Ignores hindering from movement. He's got the X-Force trait, which says he can use stealth. That traded stealth... Seriously? All right. Then he's got Body Slide. Cable can use Fable Phasing Teleport. When he does and moves 5 squares or less, after action resolve, you can make a close or range attack. It's a special movement power, a special defense power, Techno-Organic Body, and Telekinetic Shield. Cable can use Invulnerability. When Cable has less than 2 action tokens, he can use Energy Shield. He is indomitable. Whoa! We're coming back to a strong common pool, I see, at 120 points. Whoa! 7 range. This guy kind of reminds me of a Batman level figure from the Joker's Wild set. There is something to be said about this figure. There's some action to be had. 11 attack, penetrating psychic blast with 7 range, 4 damage and probability control on a 120 point figure that's capable of phasing 5 squares and making an attack. Man, the environment right now is not healthy for him. The environment in the future is very healthy for him. So that's where I see Cable. Oh my gosh, that's a common. All right, next up, Attending. He's got the Weapon X keyword. His real name is Francis Fanny. Straight, I'd rather torture your friends. When Attending damages a single opposing character with an attack after give an action token to each other opposing character, it has no action tokens within 6 squares in line of fire of the damaged character. These lines of fire can't ignore characters or terrain. Kitchen table. You're getting... Sorry, I apologize for these silent spells, but sometimes I'm actually kind of thinking it out and trying to figure it out. All right, next we got Dark Deadpool. Deadpool Core, Weapon X, Assassin, Martial Artist, and Soldier keywords. Wade Wilson of Earth, huh? He's got special movement power. Dark Deadpool can use stealth. Oh, sorry, surprise, you're dead. Dark Deadpool can use stealth. Give Dark Deadpool a free action to roll a d6 and place him in any square within half the result. That's a placement. That's pretty cool. He has that on the first 3 and last 2 clicks with 2 clicks without it with the charge. 7 range, 85 points. Let's look at that again. You can use stealth. Give him a free action, roll d6 when place him in any square within half the result. Yeah, okay, I can see him being used, not the current environment, but the future environments again. Yeah, not bad. Not terrible, not bad. We're hitting the uncommons now, guys. Figure number 17, Deadpool. Agency X, Deadpool Core 6-Pack, Thunderbolts, and Weapon X Assassin. Keywords. This is one of the shifting focus Deadpools. He ignores hindering for line of fire. Give him a free action. So shifting focus is a thing where if they have a shifting focus in the character name, and I think they're within the same point value or something like that. I think it's just a trait anyway. You can give them a free action and replace them with another figure on the same click number, basically giving some flexibility to the figure. His trait, bang, 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 bang. When Deadpool hits one or more opposing characters with a range attack, put a bang token on this target card. Once per turn, you may remove a bang token to re-roll Deadpool's attack roll. Interesting. And a very solid dial. Shifting focus figures, if they're on the part, like, this is already looking on the level of the shifting focus Superman, so I am not going to discount this guy. So I'm going to say he's got a place in the meta somewhere, especially once we've seen all of the shifting focus versions of Deadpool. All right, next up, Dr. Killbrew. Weapon X and Scientist keywords, figure number 19 on the common. He's got a special damage or attack power, mutation enhancement. It's a unique modifier. When an adjacent friendly character hits, it is if its attack value is higher than its printed value, increase the damage dealt to 1 hit target by 1. Dr. Killbrew can use Perplex, but only to increase combat values. Only to increase combat values. Dr. Killbrew can use support, and when he does, replace his attack value with his target's attack value. Interesting. And that damage power comes on the last 2, and the attack value is across the board. When an adjacent friendly character hits, if its attack value is higher than its printed. It's 35 points without wit. There's a team that's going to use him, and I haven't thought of it yet. So, first glance, no. for competitive play, but definitely tabletop or kitchen table play. But there's somewhere in the future where we're going to see this guy. That's what I'm going to say for that. Next up, the figure that made Amber squeal weird noises, Hitmonkey. He's got the animal and assassin keyword. He's tiny, 20, figure number 20, 40 points, with 6 range. He is the killer of killers. When Hitmonkey makes a range attack targeting a character that can use precision strike, modify his attack and damage values by +1. His running shot, sidestep, and stealth. That is a good combination of powers. 6 movement isn't fantastic, but he is tiny and can be carried by just about everybody. 4 clicks, 40 points. I think his output makes him worth it. I'm going to come up with teams that use Hitmonkey. Man, this animal keyword's getting very dangerous lately. Dangerous again. Yeah, I'm going to put Hitmonkey on my yes list because of the anti-precision strike tech and the fact that he's pretty strong himself. Though it might not be the current meta, it could be a future meta. There's a place for this guy, for sure. All right, next up. Hey, Slapstick! Figure number 21A. He's got Heroes for Hire, Initiative, and New Warriors keywords. This one's got the Mercs for Money trait to gain health when Heroes for Hires kill things. He's got a giant hammer that gives him giant reach of 2, which is traded. He is indomitable. He's got a special attack power. I got a mad case of Mallet-osis. Oh my god. Oh, I love it. When an opposing character takes damage from Slapstick's attack, after actions resolve, the hit character can't move during its turn and is immediately given an action token. Wow, that's a pretty big dial for a 75-point character once again. Really solid defense, although the dial gets a little wacky all over the place. Slapstick is okay, not fantastic. Could be better. The character can't move during its next turn, and it's immediately given an action. I think his giant reach makes him a little better than he looks. But that's not all we're looking at, because we do have figure number 21B, also Slapstick. And this is the Deadpool Core, Heroes for Hire, Initiative, and New Warriors keywords. I'm the Deadpool brand mercenary you hired. So, sorry, the other one, I'm going to say kitchen table for now. This one's going to have the same dial as they often do. It's just a matter of the powers, and the power is almost exactly the same. It's really just the trait that's the difference on this guy. And that's going to be, I guess, the deciding factor on these guys. When this is where you're KOing a guy, he's also 75 points. So you got to KO a guy, go to last click, and get the 3K click 3 back. Man. And his bad case of Mallet-osis. When after action resolve, the hit character can't move. Yeah, this is exactly identical except for the trait. So yeah, I'm going to put him in the same boat. Not so great, but there's a team out there for him on the kitchen table for sure. All right, next up, Stingray. Stingray we've seen previewed. He does have this is the B version, where he's got the Deadpool branded mercenary you hired trait. He's got a special trait. We're going on an aquatic mission. We'll need a deep pool. Stingray modifies his defense value by +1 when occupying water terrain. He does fly. Yeah. I mean, he's okay. 80 points, though, is a lot for this particular figure with the power set that he has. Yeah. Not super fantastic. Doesn't really have a place in the competitive play, but, man, those kitchen table games are going to be fun, man. Let me tell you what. All right, next up. Nope, sorry. That was a model for Stingray, just so you get a good look at it. It is pretty cool. Next up, Koi Boy. He's got a trait Nibble. Give Koi Boy a free action and choose an opposing character within 8 squares and line of fire that occupies water or hindering terrain. To your next turn, this is a unique modifier. So it's only worth it to do like one of these guys. Until your next turn, when the chosen character attempts to move, it must break away as if adjacent to Koi Boy and modifies his breakaway roll by -1. It is 3 clicks for 10 points with energy shield. It does have 2 damage. If you can make him work on an animal team, I'd say go for it. 10 points to fill out the end. Who knows? he might find his way into a team that just needs a 10-point use. He's not breaking the game anytime soon, that's for sure. Next up, we have Diamondback, Femazons, and Serpent Society keywords. She's got the Bad Girls Ink trait, which gives her plasticity and the ability to break away and deal 1 damage to each character she broke away from. She also comes with Sidestep, a little bit of a thicker dial. Oh my god, this is only a 50-point character. She's got 2 clicks more than Asp, I think. Just doesn't have that incapacitate power. It's a little bit more beefy on the combat stats. I'm liking this Bad Girls Ink trait, and I think there's going to be something with these girls and the Shredders from TMNT Series 3. So I'm going to say it hard maybe, but the math has to be done on that one to be sure. All right, next up, we got Bedlam. He's got X-Force keyword, Bio EM field. Opposing characters within range can't use the standard powers or combat value modifiers granted by equipped items. Interesting equip nerf. Range and line of fire on a range of 5. It's an interesting power on a dial that's... It's not super strong, but he does have a pretty good defense for a 40-point figure. I want this guy to be a lot better than he looks like. So kitchen table, though his trait might not go off too often in kitchen table game because often you don't see that kind of stuff there. But who knows? I've been wrong before. All right, next up, Phantom X, Weapon X, X-Force, Assassin, Martial Artist, Spy, keywords, X-Force trait. He can use Stealth, Reality Skewing, and Eva. Phantom X can use Shape Change. Phantom X can use Probability Control, but only when he's attacking. That's traded, by the way. And then he's got some pretty reasonable stats for 100 points. A pretty reasonable dial. I'd have to see the Fast Forces one to decide which ones I'm going to think are best. But X-Men team ability does give him a lot of options for some extra healing. So I'm going to give him a hard maybe. Not like the best figure for 100 points, but you know, this game shifts as far as the modern age is concerned, so we might see a future for him. All things considered. All right, neat to see the lady that looks like Wolfsbane in Feral. Ignores characters for movement. Interesting choice. Morlocks, X-Force, and Animal keywords. She's got special defense power. It gives her combat reflexes and super senses for 60 points. You get a 5-click dial that has combat reflexes and super senses. Super senses across the board if you consider the special power and the middle dial. Starts with some exploit weakness and precision strike. Interesting combination choice. I can't say no to Animal, but I can say no to this dial at 60. So I'm going to force a hard maybe on her until I do some more work with the Animal keyword. All right, next up, we have Anarchist with his cool headline card with, you know, there's your Wizkids reference. Hey, check it out. Wizkids shocks characters. Yeah, I mean, if you saw my reaction to one of the figures in the set. So Anarchist is an X-Force, X-Statics, and celebrity keywords. Can shoot out of combat. He's got the headlines where if he hits one or more opposing characters after actions resolve, give him a headline token. Anarchist can use Poison, which is a special damage power. When he does, if you remove a headline token from him, the damage dealt is penetrating. Interesting. Not a terrible dial, 75 points. Again, this X-Statics is starting to build up to be something. It's going to be good to see the whole team all together, to see what's up. So again, based on how X-Statics looks, is how I'm going to look at Anarchists and You Go Girl. Though X-Force, worth mentioning, is shaping up to be pretty good too. Alright, next up, Angel Dust. She's got Morlocks, Assassin, Brute, and Soldier keywords. Mutant Mixed Martial Artist. Very cute reference to the lady who played Angel Dust in the movie. Gina Carano. Anyway, she can use Super Strength when she attacks a single adjacent opposing character. Increase her attack value by the number of action tokens on the target. And she's got some pretty solid stats on a 60-point character already. First glance, no. For competitive play, definite kitchen table bruiser. Probably more action in sealed. We'll see. All right. The character that made Jason make funny noises, ladies and gentlemen. Howard the Duck. He's got defenders, animal, celebrity, martial artist, mystical, and politician keywords. He's got master of quack food trait where he's got sidestep. Howard the Duck can use incapacitate, which is a special attack power, which is foul mouthed. Yes, look at look at how it's spelled. I'll give you a second. That's right. Puns, kids. Howard, ask your parents. Howard the Duck can use incapacitate. When he does, he may target all adjacent opposing characters. And then he's got special damage power. We can do this the wrong way or my way. At the beginning of your turn, choose a standard power that an adjacent friendly character can use. Until your next turn, all characters within 6 squares and line of fire of Howard the Duck can't use the chosen power. And then you see he's got the special attack power in the middle 3 clicks. First 3 clicks with the damage power, aquatic and tiny size for 50 points. If you can figure out the power that stops your team, you can pack it on your team, and then you can say, Howard the Duck says you can't use that power to your opponent's figures. There is something going to happen with this Howard. So I'm going to say he's going to find his way out there, but it's going to be a very subtle use of Howard the Duck. Amber, get out of my team notes. All right. I'm going to get crucified for how I'm going to butcher this. But this looks like Shla. Sikla? So I'm going to go with either or. Deadpool core, Legion of Monsters, monster and mystical keywords. She's an ancient succubus. Sikla begins the game on click number 4. Sikla can use steal energy. When she does, she may heal past her starting line. Protect my idiot husband. Once per game, when a friendly character named Deadpool takes damage from an opponent's attack, after action resolve, you may place Sikla adjacent to him. If you do, you may remove an action token from her. Monstrous transformation. At the end of your turn, you may replace Shla with figure number 53 Shla on the same click number. Interesting. Okay, well, the stats she has on her dial aren't terrible. Let me get a look at that. She doesn't have steel energy at range, right? No, so it is a normal steel energy, which means you do got to get in there, and running shot's not going to get you in there. She does have shape change, which protects her. She's got mind control and later dials. No, man, I don't see her seeing competitive play, but kitchen table play for sure. I want to see what the looks like super rare is going to look like for her. So yeah, there's Sikla. All right, next up, I think we've seen this figure before in some trade, but it doesn't matter. Figure number 37A, Deadpool X-Force, Assassin, Detective, Soldier keywords. This is one of the shifting focus ones. And then he's got a special movement power. Yoo-hoo! I'm over here now, Spanky. Deadpool can use phasing teleport normally or as a free action. If he activates it as a free action, roll a d6, replace the speed value with the result. And then he's got that for his first 4 or 5 clicks. Excuse me. And then normal phasing on the last 2 clicks. I think the overall impression is that this is going to be one of those usable versions of him. And the 2 shifting focus ones we've seen so far have been pretty decent. So, yeah, shifting focus Deadpool is probably going to see some play. All right, next up, Terror, figure 38B. I'm the Deadpool brand mercenary you hired as his trait. Heroes for hire, Deadpool, core, detective, and monster keywords. Lend me a hand or a head. Once per turn, when an adjacent standard character is KO'd, modify Terror's combat values by +1 until the end of your next turn. Ooh. And just a color-based dial, 75 points. I don't think this guy's going to see play. He's got a thick dial for 75 points, though. 2, 4. He's got click 8. Thick dial. Good table play. Competitive play, maybe not so much, but pretty neat. All right. Another one that got me excited and I was happy to pull. My lady Squirrel Girl. She's got the Avengers, Great Lake Avengers, and Animal keyword. She is 85 points. She's got chuck, chickadee, chick, 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 chick. Give Squirrel Girl a free action. Oh, she ignores elevated for movement. Give her a free action when she has 1 action token and place a squirrel bystander adjacent. Squirrel bystanders leap, climb, and are tiny, and their actions do not count against your action total. Then she's got Squirrel Armor. Once per game, give Squirrel Girl a power action. If there are give her a power action if there are 3 adjacent squirrel bystanders. Remove them from the game. When you do, modify Squirrel Girl's combat values by +1 for the rest of the game. Interesting. And I think you can, the math I did when I first opened her, turn 1, take an action, use a free action, bring out a squirrel bystander. Turn 2, use a free action, bring out a squirrel bystander, clear. Turn 3, you should be able to pull off the Squirrel Armor ability. Then you get the Fighting Squirrel Man. Give Squirrel Girl a free action if there are 6 squirrel bystanders on the map. Replace them with a Squirrel Man bystander in one of their squares. And he is charge, super strength, invulnerable, and his actions don't count against your action total. If you can get these squirrel tokens moving, man, this is one of those things. Unchecked, Squirrel Girl could be someone's nightmare. Checked, she's not going to matter. Is she going to be in the competitive play? Jason is already thinking of teams. Deal with it. Though he's probably going to be the only crazy bugger with a Squirrel Girl on his team. Doesn't matter. Still running it. All right, next up. Figure they made Amber make noises. Boom, boom. She's got New Mutants, X Factor, and X-Force keywords. She's got a special attack power. Boom Boom can use Energy Explosion and Psychic Blast. When she makes a range attack and has no action tokens, modify her attack and damage values by +1. She comes in at a solid 60 points. Yeah, Showcases is pretty cool. X-Force teams are starting to build up. I'm going to say at first glance not competitive, but could be kitchen table. But again, we're waiting for that shift in the modern age to be absolutely certain. So, hard question mark on her. Because it is a cool power that she's got. All right, next up. Figure number 43, Marrow. X-Force trait, Morlocks, X-Force, and X-Men keywords. Ignores hindering for movement. And then she's Plasticity Blades. For 40 points, you could do worse. Not going to win any tournaments anytime soon, but definitely a very solid harassment piece. Future competitive, maybe. Current competitive, not quite. Again, remains to be seen, but definite kitchen table figure. All right, next up. Figure number 52. We're heading into super rares, guys. We're almost at the home stretch right now. We start off with Mistress Death. Cosmic, deity, and mystical keywords. The Realm of Death expands is her first trait. When another standard character is KO'd, remove an action token from Mistress Death. Next, you can't kill Death or marry her. I tried. When Mistress Death would be KO'd and there's another friendly character on the map, you may instead place her on your starting area on click number 3 with 2 action tokens and the opponent scores her. This can't be ignored. Then she's got the Touch of Death. When Mistress Death hits with a close attack, immediately place a Touch of Death token on its target's card if it doesn't already have one. For the rest of the game, when a character with a Touch of Death token is dealt damage by an attack, double the damage. Interesting. The problem is she doesn't have move and attack to get those tokens on people. She does have Pulse Wave. She does have a 10 range. 100 points. I don't think she's going to see competitive play, guys. I don't see it. But she's going to be so fun on the kitchen table watching the looks on people's faces. She is also Power Cosmic. Also worth mentioning. That could change my mind. No, it's not going to change my mind. Click 3. What does click 3 look like? That's a Psychic Blast one. 10 range. Man, I want to say so many nice things about this figure, but she's not letting me. So, not competitive play. Very, very interesting play for the kitchen table. Alright. Next up. Almost there. Ajax. Weapon X, Armor, Brute, Keywords. I stole your teleport frequency once per game. If Ajax is at least 5 squares from each starting area, you may give him a power action to choose a character named Deadpool within 8 squares, place the chosen character adjacent, and deal that character 1 penetrating damage. That is a very... that's like saying that character, because this character would become competitive because of that, would be saying a lot about Deadpool. And I don't think that's going to make him very good. Anyway, so a special movement power. Beginning your turn, choose one. Ajax can use hypersonic or this turn. Interesting. Shut up. Ajax can use Battle Fury. Ajax deals penetrating damage, and targets can't use Super Sense as his special damage power. He starts with the movement power, has a damage power late dial, 140 points, and downroll 5 range. Not spiking the meta. The choice between hypersonic and flurry could go somewhere, because it definitely says, you know, a lot of people say, oh, the best way to stop hypersonic is with plasticity, and then you put this guy next to them, and he's got flurry on the next turn. Could kind of alleviate that. I don't think necessarily, though, that's true. Not spiking the meta yet. I'm gonna say not yet. But kitchen table fun for sure. Yeah. All right, next up, Colossus, comrade. X-Force, X-Men, armor, and keywords. Hey, look, mine's in one piece. Take that, Scott. Love you, Scott. Ignores hindering forward movement. He is traded with the ability to use super strength. So special movement power. Former Juggernaut. Colossus can use charge and breaks through walls. He's got that on his first 2 clicks or his first click on his 80-point dial. It's playable at 150 or 80 points. That's a really strong 80-point dial, let me tell you. It's 4 clicks, so, but it's a meaty 4 clicks. Like, it's beefy damage. So if you've got a way to use that, use it for sure. Though probably not going to be competitive play. Maybe this 80-point dial might see some bombs being dropped. We'll see. Remains to be seen, but I don't think there's a lot of competitive nature in this guy. All right, and next up, our chase, Champion Pool. Now, Champion Pool's got his combat reflexes, comic panel. The comic panels are all going to be usable by the chases. They can kind of flip-flop through them, but it seems to be relegated specifically to the trait that the chases have, which is, do you see the comic panels telling me what to do? So his gives combat reflexes, interesting thing, and if there's going to be a playable one, combat reflexes is going to be a good choice to have. Anyway, let's talk about Champion Pool. Deadpool core, Elders of the Universe, Brute, Cosmic, Pirate, and Warrior keywords. Do you see the comic panels telling me what to do? Like I said, you can put one of the comic panels on him if you don't already have one, or if you already have one, just kind of swap it out. I will not fall for your tricks yet again. Champion Pool's combat values can't be decreased below their printed value. I fight better alone is his special attack power. If Champion Pool makes the first attack of the turn, modify his attack value by +1. When he does, you may modify his damage value by +1, but if you do, no other friendly characters may attack this turn. He is power cosmic. He's a pretty thick dial at 175 points, starts with 5 damage, never drops below 4, attack never drops below 10. His movement is going to be the big hindrance. So if you can move this guy who's also a giant around, all the power to you. But I think that's going to be a big sticking point in making this character super competitive. But nonetheless, a very, very dominating looking, imposing looking, bully-like figure for your table games. All right, and that's what we got from our break. Thanks, Wizkids. And that's the Deadpool set. Though at first glance, not super hyper competitive, but that's just the nature of this game. You know, 1 or 2 figures might find their way into competitive play, where the most part, most of them get left aside for high level competition. That said, there's much to be said about what's on the lower end, and there's going to be a lot of fun to be had in your casual games at the kitchen table. Now, getting over that, I'm going to be mad labbing this stuff. I'm going to be in the science center making some stuff work, specifically Tippy and Chipmunk Hunk, along with Squirrel Girl. They're going to all see some action from me for sure at first. And I'm going to be trying to make Deadpool Shifting Focus do some work for me as well. There's a future for Cable, and there's a present somewhere for Howard the Duck. I just gotta find it. In the meantime, guys, thank you guys very much for watching, and thank you again to Wizkids for providing us with a brick of Deadpool to share with you guys and get an advanced look at what's going on with this set. So in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.